My name's Antoine, Luis, and Dylan. We did our project on alumni pursuing job opportunities in software engineer, data analysts, and cybersecurity jobs. Initially, for this project, working with web dev, our target demographic aims at students who recently graduated boot camps and are unsure how to keep up with technology. But as far as the data science team, as far what we were going to do with this project is get an analysis to see what may be one of the difficulties with future alumni finding jobs. One of the important notes we got here from the web is according to reports from Career Karma, over 44K people attending and graduating boot camps in 2020. This number has grown 30%, and we expect more people to continue to explore this field. Our hypothesis, what we're aiming to do, or what the app that we're making is aiming to do, is help applicants achieve the jobs they're aiming for. But one of the hypotheses we are testing is we believe that even though technical skills contribute to alumni finding jobs, what mainly attributes to the difficulty of finding employment may be location. We believe that there's limited employment outside of New York, California, Texas, which might attribute to difficulty. So what we did is explore as far as using some data sets that we found through Kaggle and other resources as far as what job opportunities is more potent in certain states, and also what skills also is shown on, for example, resumes, shown on applications for like jobs, like what applications mostly, if it mostly showed New York or whatnot. And we compiled the data using that to form our analysis. This is the Streamlit, by the way. While going through the data, while exploring the data, we saw that as far as with data analyst jobs, the top 5 is California, Texas, New York, Chicago, and Pennsylvania. California has about 600. With the data set we used, it had 626 applications that showed that that's where they were looking for. That was where open employment were. We also did it for software engineering jobs, which you could see is kind of pretty much familiar with the top 3. It shows California, Texas, New York, but then it changed. Massachusetts and Virginia was in the top 5, opposed to Pennsylvania and Illinois. So when we did the same analysis for cybersecurity, it actually changed. Georgia came second, Texas, Washington, and New Jersey, opposed to the other data sets that we had. We also did a skill analysis on skills. And after this, I will show the notebook to show how we got the skills and got the data for the locations. But when we did analysis on the skills, we saw that for software engineer, Java was number 1. Python showed up as 2. Knowledge of AWS showed up, JavaScript, and then SQL. Cybersecurity kind of followed in the same fashion, but with SQL being one of the top skills it showed, as far as Python, Java, knowledge of firewalls, and AWS. It also, when you look at the chart, you also see that it does show that for example, Azure is up there, but on ranking certain, like AWS shows up higher and JavaScript is on there, but Java showed up higher as far as cyber. And then with data analysis, but keep in mind, this is mainly data analysis job, which is why it's just so different, but it shows that R for data analysis, as far as applications online, or it shows that R shows up the most, SQL, Excel, and Python, and Tableau. One of the insights, so these are some of the insights we got regarding data, cyber, and software engineer. California is the top 3 in all career paths, and Texas also, but what we did notice is Python, SQL are pretty much shows up as some of the priority skills to learn in all of those 3 career fields. And then what was surprising, seeing that Georgia data was also for cybersecurity was up there. So as far as our conclusion concerned, our hypothesis concerned, our hypothesis actually shown up to be false, mainly due to cybersecurity. They had different locations that they show that jobs were more prominent. For example, New Jersey, at least with the data that we had, New Jersey showed up more than New York. And also Washington was one of the more prominent cities as for top 5 locations for cybersecurity jobs. It does, looking at this data, we also did notice that SQL is a skill that pretty much all fields want you to learn. So if you guys don't know it, we got to learn it. Yeah, so that's as far as the conclusion. I published this using Streamlit to for example, this is the notebook, but to get the data as far as like locations, what we had to do was mostly all the data had a location area on the CSV file. We was able to go into location. I wanted to prioritize states more than anything. So what we did was we did a split, so we only get the states abbreviation after the comma and dropped whatever values that repeated in order to get the graph regarding that. And then when we went as far as to find the information of like skills, we had to do some research online and ask peers regarding like skills in certain fields. But how the data is set up is pretty much just a blob of like what would be on a normal Indeed page of what a job asks for. And in order to get that, we looked through this a bit, but then also we pulled up the skills and see if it was located in there. And then if it was, we created like a true or false column with those skills. And then from there, we was able to graph it. So that's how we did it for those. But yeah, that's the project. One of the things in the future to elaborate it, what we would probably do is probably use an API to source our own data, especially when it came to cybersecurity. They did have data sets with jobs for cybersecurity, but one of the things we did notice as far as job titles, it's a wide range. Some is security analyst, the names of the titles differ. So what we would do in the future is probably compile those titles and create our own data on a data set or CSV file using like API in order to do that. One of the most challenging part of the projects, I would say, besides finding the data, is using Streamlit for the first time and trying to Streamlit kind of in a sense is like building a website. But yeah,